This is Blitz Bounty live here for the first time on the...
Come on, Dennis, what are you waiting? Why you don't take that ball? 94. Illegal move. They didn't see an illegal move. 92.
Now he was resigning.
Making me work for it? Okay, I'll resign.
Hey Dennis, how's it going? Is your shirt like soaked with tears?
Oh, it's not going too well, Caleb. I took your advice the other week. Tried to play Blitz Bounty against some kid. I lost.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like a fun time. Did you see my match though?
Is that my apple?
Yeah, so I actually beat Jonathan really easily. The easiest match of my life. We made fun of him in front of like 100 viewers. You should try it sometime.
Oh, congratulations. I guess I'm really happy for you. I suppose success is something I'm only ever going to know vicariously.
Yeah, well, I mean, success is all I've ever really known. Hard for me to kind of relate to what you're going through. But, I already set up another match for you anyways, so it should be fine.
Have something to drink.
So,
Why
yeah.
don't you set up another match? Hey.
Blitz Bounty, round 2, Michael Pugachev coming up this June. You're putting $36 on the line and 2 Powerball tickets.
I
You'll be
really
there.
don't have a lot of money. Hey, wait, I don't really want to do this.
Pugachev is Russian. Yeah.
He is. Hello, chess fans, and welcome back to St. Louis for Blitz Bounty 2, the second ever Blitz Bounty event featuring Dennis LaRue. My name is Ben Simon. I'm here with Grandmaster Alexander Lendeman for one of the most serious events he's ever been a part of, no doubt. Alex, welcome to the show. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, and I hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, thank you. No, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it very much so.
So we've witnessed an evolution of Blitz Bounty over the years. It started with Mike Kummer years ago, where we would record videos of him playing small children. And he had 5 Blitz Bounties, I believe, and all but one he was victorious. Dennis LaRue has attempted thus far to follow in Mike's footsteps with his version of Blitz Bounty. It's newer, it's flashier, and it's live. But he hasn't had the same success thus far. Last time we saw you for Blitz Bounty number 1, he lost to Jacob Sanders, 15 years old player. And this was not Mike Kummer versus a child. This was 2 players of similar ratings, similar strengths, going head-to-head in a Blitz match. Not really the old bounty of Mike Kummer's game, but a match. Best of 4 Blitz games, game in 5, the winner when you hit 2.5. If it's tied 2-2, they go to an Armageddon. Now, this is not gambling. Mike Kummer would want us to tell you that the grand tradition of Blitz Bounty, it's not gambling because only the challenger puts out the bounty on his own head. It's kind of strange how that happens. But Dennis LaRue, for this event, I understand has put up a very generous prize fund. He's bought 2 Powerball tickets at the behest of Caleb Denby, and he's also put up $36 of his own money. And this is important because he's low on funds right now. $36, in case you're curious, is the prize fund for a victory in the Friday Action Quads. So this is at least as glorious as winning our Friday night event because they'll be missing it. Starts at 7. Anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about our players in this matchup. First, I want to talk about Dennis LaRue. Now, a lot of people around here know about Dennis LaRue, formerly the instructor of Tactics Time here at the club, and now a little bit of a YouTube celebrity. He's a chess instructor, he's a part of management here at the club, and he basically helps out a lot with the goings-on here around this famous chess club. Dennis LaRue, 37 years old, originally from California, the smoggy part of California, he would like me to say. And he is rated 1451 USCF regular, and unfortunately for him, his blitz is 1263. His opponent is Michael Pugachev, participating in his very first Blitz Bounty event, and there he is, the Terminator himself. He wears his sunglasses at night. Well, it's getting to be night, and a nice little Starbucks drink there. That will fuel you up for a fierce competition against Dennis LaRue. He is 14 years old. His family is from Ukraine. His parents are Ukrainian, and he has lived here, though, in St. Louis his entire life. He's a hockey player, and, you know, given the stakes in the Stanley Cup right now, maybe he's probably a Blues fan as well, but I'm not sure about that. Don't want to insult him if he's, you know, for the Bruins, but he's ready. I asked him what his plan was for Dennis LaRue, and he said to win. You know, that's kind of a lame question. It begets a lame answer, but it's true, Alex. It's true. And likewise, Dennis LaRue, I asked him what his plan was, and what did he say, Alex?
To win.
Yeah, basically. He was like, I don't want to make any blunders, and I got to play fast. And, you know, I believe there's still, 5-minute time control, sudden death. They're in good spirits now, but one of them is going to be crushed later on. Your arbiter is Nick Risco, in his first high-profile event here on the YouTube channel. Man, this is up there with U.S. champs, no doubt. 2 1,500 players giving it their all in some blitz action, and they are about to start in about 30 seconds, I understand. LaRue's got his phone in the room. That's highly suspect because this is a rated blitz match. This is USCF rated blitz. It's not FIDE.
I think it's starting it off, though.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness. You got to get it out of there. Have those guys been wanded, by the way?
I think it's kind of hard to computer cheat in Blitz, though. Just not enough time.
Here, let me check. Let me check my engine here. I got some stockfish running. Oh, darn, I flagged on move 8. And there is Nick reading his Holy Scripture, the USCF rulebook. In the moment here, we'll be started with this fierce competition. Now, remember, in the Mike Cummer days, it was if the challenger, if you will, that would be Pugachev in this case, if he won just one game, draws don't count, if he won one game, he gets the bounty. LaRue is more evenly matched. LaRue says, no, you got to beat me in a blitz match. So we are going to see what happens. Best of 4 blitz game in 5. We certainly thank you for joining us here on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube. And I've got the YouTube chat open right now. Joe Cal, thank you for joining us. When will Ben Simon be doing a bounty? Well, we'll have to see about that, Joe Cal. Not anytime soon. All right, the game is underway. And there we nice look there at the board in your lower right corner, with the straw right in front of it. All right, what's going on so far, Alex?
So we have a Sicilian, a close Sicilian. Pugachev is playing white, and they're playing close Sicilian. As far as I could see, he's expanding in with f4, d3, so it seems like they're both pretty familiar with the opening. But right now we're not. Okay, now we got some more moves. So black is playing actually a very harmonious setup with knight g7, and then maybe either d6 or d5. And white is, you know, potentially hoping for kingside attacks. So both players are familiar so far with the theory. They're playing very logical, high-level games. So far they're both playing. You wouldn't have known that they're 1,500 players, right? They're both playing like a grandmaster so far.
I can't believe it. Well, you know, these players, they do book up a little bit. And I am no match for either one of them in the openings department, despite being around the same rating. So they've castled now.
Yeah, so there's this board is a bit slow when it comes to giving us moves, but
well, let's see if we can glance in at the live board. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice shot.
from what I could see, you know, white expanded with e5, but then black got his knight to f5, and he's controlling the d4 square. And now black's idea will be to play something like f6, challenging that pawn on e5. And I would say position is dynamically equal. And now we do have all these moves on the board. Both are roughly equal on the clock. You know, both have around 4 minutes left. And now Pugachev is thinking, he's going for g4, but that move is a bit risky, you know, because now black can play knight h4 or knight d4, and potentially that king might be a bit weakened. Let's see where he goes. Okay, he played knight h4, which is probably a good move. And I don't think you can take and then go g5 because the queen is not going to get trapped, I don't think. So far it looks good for Dennis LaRue, this position, but of course still plenty of fight here.
And you mentioned that while white is having to think here, knight takes knight, on h4, queen takes, and then g5 to try to trap the queen. What does the queen do? Back to h5?
You probably just play h6 and then try to undermine the pawn on g5 in that case. So Pugachev is still... No, he played a move, bishop d2, so... But that's very risky because now you can take on g2, remove that bishop from g2, and that's like one of the very important pieces that covers the king, and that's what Dennis LaRue does. So far, Dennis is playing excellent chess. Now I think he should play f6, open up the king side, and then play b6, bishop b7, put that bishop on this very nice diagonal, long diagonal, and put pressure on that shivery king on g2. I think black is clearly better in this position.
Good start here for Dennis then, by your assessment.
So Dennis played b6 first, and now I think if I was white, I will play g5, and maybe try to shut down the f6 idea. Although that does give the f5 square. So either way, I think black is still better. All right, Pugachev is going bishop e1, which makes a lot of sense. He's trying to go bishop h4, put pressure on the queen. So far, they're both playing decent chess. And now black played a6, which seems to be like a loss of time. White brought in the bishop on h4. And now white will probably bring the queen into the king side as well. Now I think white is stabilized, and now I think white is doing much better. I think he had to play f6, before playing b6. That is Dennis. Now the time, he's also catching up on time, and I think Pugachev his chances are improving. Now if I was white, I would probably go queen e1, bishop f6, and then queen h4. And Pugachev looks like he's gonna go, he's going bishop g3. I would have definitely gone bishop f6, tried to get a pawn wedge, pawn on f6, but yeah, now I think black is better again. So bishop g3 seems a bit inaccurate. So he's going for h4, but that seems too slow, and anyway, I think you can play f6, challenging him. So this board is still not giving us anything. Okay, black went d4, but that might be premature because now white got the e4 square control. Maybe again, I think f6 should have been played at some point. Now again, I like white because now white has a straightforward attacking plan, h5, rook h1, and so on. Okay, black is probably going to go knight e7, which is a good move, trying to go knight d5, knight e3, and trying to activate the knight.
I'd like to step in and say right now that we are having some resolution issues for those of you watching us online right now, and have no fear, we will be uploading this match in full HD after it concludes this evening.
So Dennis went for an interesting decision, but I don't think that was very good. I think he should have played knight d5, knight e3, and brought the knight in the game, because here the knight on e7 is very restricted. And now I think white has a free hand in his attack. With rook h1, bishop h4, now I think white is again in very much control. Pugachev is reaching for his h-pawn, thinking about taking. I would play rook h1 here and then bishop h4 and try to start an attack, bring that bishop back to h4. Oh wow, is he gonna go f5? Oh, I think that's just a mistake, because that's just not safe. There are more attackers than defenders there. So I think f5 is a very big mistake, but they're getting low on time. And Dennis LaRue correctly took the pawn. And now after pawn takes, black will just be up a pawn with a much better game. So Pugachev just made a very huge mistake. f5, which lets that knight in the game, and maybe he just miscounted the pieces. And now white is close to losing. And now he's also getting low on time, and he better move quickly here because he's really running low on time.
And there's no delay and no increment here, Alex. I mean, I think this is I don't like this time control at all. I mean, it leaves too much up to time. It's all time. But that's what these guys wanted to play.
Yeah, I think it's better if it splits, with, let's say, 3-2 or something, at least some little increment. That way there's no flagging in a dead drawn position. But okay, in this case, I think it won't be much of a factor. Here, black is outplaying white positionally. Because f5, this one very bad move, really cost Pugachev. I mean, unless he finds a miracle comeback, Houdini act, white will lose this game. And he's thinking along, okay, g5 is probably a good practical try, but yeah, it's not looking very good. And now black is playing correctly, knight d5, bringing the knight in the game. Then knight goes to e3, and he's playing it quickly. So far, Dennis's strategy is working well, playing quickly and not blundering.
You know, so far I'm impressed. Dennis and I, we play a lot of Blitz together. Pugachev and I, not so much. But one thing I've seen from Dennis, he is beating me in every Blitz game we play. We're playing 3-2. Every Blitz game, he has the upper hand, and he blows a lot of them near the end in time pressure. Now, the difference here is he's significantly up in time.
Yeah.
But we'll see here, because that's where that lower Blitz rating comes from for Dennis, is blundering in time pressure, and it's very frequent.
Yeah, and here black could just take on e5 because the knight on f3 is pinned and that pawn's captured. Well, he goes for it. He finds it. So far, Dennis is playing very precisely. Now rook takes e5 because you cannot take with the knight because knight is pinned. Or you can do knight takes, but rook takes is much better. But you gotta play quicker. Queen d3, now, you know, rook e3 is probably good. Rook e8 is a very good move, bringing the last piece in the game. Okay, he once goes for check. Now rook e4. No, now, well, okay, if you take the rook, I guess queen g2 check is his idea, which is winning. Yes, and he finds it. And now queen takes h1. He has to play, oh, he takes the knight, which is also probably winning. And now white is really running very low on time. Rook h4.
Gosh, only 7 seconds left for Michael.
And then knight takes c2, and then rook e1 is checkmate in 2. Now rook e1 is checkmate in 1. Rook e1 mate in 1. And he finds it. And he wins the first game. And very clutch performance here by Dennis LaRue. You know, and the big difference was that f5 move. That very big lemon, which left the pawn unprotected, and also, more importantly, it helped that knight on e7, which was restricted by the pawn on e4, get in the game. It's all about piece activity, and like I always tell all my students, and I've done lectures on this team, my greatest losses, it's now on YouTube. Piece activity is a very important factor, and f5 was a very costly move, and eventually after that, LaRue never really let go of his initiative and won a very nice game. Very good start for Dennis, just like what the doctor ordered.
Remember, it's best of 4, and there you see it. Dennis LaRue, 1-0 to start. Alex, it's nice of you to cite my greatest losses. You know, you can learn a lot from those.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I definitely very much recommend those videos. They're all on YouTube now. Very instructive stuff, in my opinion. All right, so I guess we don't have anything live here, but...
Not yet. We're going to be starting the second round. I understand momentarily, perhaps just a minute or two break for these players. They're going to just buzz right through here. Like I said, thank you for joining us here in the YouTube chat. I am looking at your comments. Rarely Pokemon is in the chat, and he says, my screen is blurry. Like I said, we'll be uploading the full HD version right after this show has concluded. He says, Michael is my friend. Well, what better way to be here than to root for your friend?
Yeah, definitely.
Aditya Chandra, he is in here. Hello, Aditya. And Alexi, a coach here in the St. Louis area, a coach of many kids in the area, he is cheering for Michael Pugachev. I'd say that the world is mostly in Pugachev's corner. Does this affect you, Alex? Have you ever been an emotional favorite or at an emotional disadvantage when it comes to the public cheering you on?
I mean, I don't remember. I mean, it goes both ways. It really depends a lot on whom I'm playing, but no, not really. I think I just kind of let it go. Just focus on my game.
I have to say that while getting ready, you have a board too. I don't know how much we'll look at our digital board, but okay. Is that round 1 though? It might be. Yeah.
Well, this is round.
Close that one. Close that little. Go up to that arrow and click it.
This one?
Yeah. And then there's the second round. There we go. Or maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was placed in the wrong one. Anyway, we'll be watching this game no matter what, everyone. And I got to tell you that trash talk is allowed in this match. Believe it or not, both players have agreed that they can trash talk during this match. It is a Blitz Bounty staple, but I would imagine that not one word has been exchanged between the two of them. How it usually goes with Blitz Bounty is they say, we're going to trash talk, and then they don't.
Yeah.
We were going to have our correspondent Perry Colson up in the tournament hall this evening as our trash talk stenographer. Unfortunately, Perry's a little under the weather this evening, so hopefully they don't trash talk so we don't miss anything. Here we go. We're underway. Game 2. Dennis LaRue up by 1.
And
1-0.
they're playing an Italian game so far, Gico Piano. And Pugachev is, so far, they're playing the main line. And White went for the slow Gico Piano. Slow setup. And let's see what Dennis plays. Knight d2.
Now, I love the Giocco Piano. That's probably the most common opening amongst beginner players, wouldn't you say?
Well, kind of, but it's also becoming one of the most popular at the top level as well, as Carlsen kind of made it a little bit more popular as he started winning games in it, and now it's become very popular. The reason is there's pawns don't get exchanged, and the positions are very hard for the computer to get a grasp on, and there are a lot of very deep subtleties. And for top-level games, you know, they want to play games where things don't fizzle out very quickly, and where it's more a matter of understanding and outplaying people based on nuances and details. And, you know, that's how top players are. I mean, they want to take advantage of these things. And so far, both players are playing very logical chess. No real mistakes for either side. They're both playing, and bishop takes c6 is, I think, a good move. You know, potentially doubling these pawns. And now White will prepare for b4 and bishop, queen b3 potentially. So far, both sides are playing pretty well. They've definitely proved that they know their theory in the first two games. They definitely know the theory. So they have some fundamental knowledge, and then it just comes down to how quickly they would see some tactics. All right, so Pugachev goes for a quick knight g4, which, you know, probably could easily be met with knight e3 or bishop e3. So, but it's not really a mistake, but probably it's a little premature. I wouldn't play it, but it's not really a big deal. And White played rook e2. Well, this move is a bit risky because now you have to consider rook takes f3 sacrifice. And Black can play for initiative. I'm not sure if it's so good here, but...
And rook takes f3 with the idea G takes f3 and then
just
opening the king up, right?
Yes, and then just knight f6 back and then just playing for initiative. Although I'm not quite sure how good it is here, but certainly something to consider. But more likely, it doesn't work. So, yeah, Black played a5 trying to prevent b4, but... that's probably nothing so special. So rook e2 was played, and then a5. And h3, knight f6, yeah. So, you know, still nothing that much is happening. And Pugachev again is spending quite a lot of time trying to figure it out. But they both seem like actually pretty decent blitz players, for what I could tell. They seem like players with some experience.
Michael Pugachev, I remember years ago when I was recording the kids' classes on Sundays, he was the kid in there. He was the superstar. You know, I was curious for a while. I was like, why is he still coming to this class? Because the rest of the class was just seemed light years behind him.
Yeah.
But he's really stepped up his game and is amongst the scholastic players in the area. He's one of the best.
Yeah, so it goes to show that, yeah, he definitely has a lot of ability. Definitely, he's up there.
Dennis, his arm suspended in quantum indecision. There we go, bishop takes.
And now I think d4, yeah, good move, you know, challenging the center. And so far, I really like Dennis's play. I mean, no blunders, quick play, convincing, you know, sticking to his plans. Very convincing play by Dennis so far. And I think White is better now after knight takes d4 and then queen b3. And piling up pressure on e6. In fact, it's very hard for Black to even save the pawns. So somewhere, few moves back, Pugachev made a mistake. And he took with the knight. He's playing very well. Like, he's making all the right decisions. Queen d7, and now queen b3 would be very strong. If he finds queen b3, he definitely deserves to not only win this game, but probably the match as well, if he's finding, you know, such moves.
Queen b3, I mean, that guarantees you a pawn, does it not?
Probably, yes. I mean, and he found
There it
it,
is.
and he's playing, you know, he's truly playing spectacular chess so far in this tournament. I mean, really in very good form today. Seeing the ideas, the tactical, putting pressure on his opponent, just playing very sharp chess. Now black probably needs to play d5, and then rook ae1, bringing in last piece in the game. E-file opens up, and there's going to be a lot of pressure. So black played d5, which is as good as anything. But now if you take and then play rook e1, I think white is doing very well. And so he took, which is good. And now if he takes with anything but the pawn, then the pawn on e6 hangs. So he took what's going to take with the pawn, and now rook ae1, getting that last piece in the game, attacking the knight on e7 is a very strong idea. But the only thing is Dennis is taking a little bit, maybe sometimes too much time on very straightforward decisions. He should play a little quicker, probably. Right now, he could have been like potentially half a minute to a minute ahead on the clock, given his good position. But, you know, the time station gives black some fighting chance. Okay, so knight g6. Now knight f5 I think is good, trying to exchange those knights on e7. The problem for black is the rook on a7 is out of play right now. It's a dynamically misplaced piece. So that's why white has a lot of initiative.
Why did that rook go to a7 in the first place?
Because bishop takes a7 happened at some point and rook had to recapture.
Right, okay, yeah. I do recall.
And he played knight f5. So once again, he's playing very good chess. Truly very good chess. Like, I mean, even if this was not a blitz game, but it's over the board game, I mean, longer time control, I don't think white would have been able to play better. It's really, you know, very high quality blitz game. Just putting pressure, move after move, just, you know, I'm very impressed. So black played c5, and now knight e7. Knight e7 is very powerful, exchanging the knights, and then the rook comes in, and he'll find it, I think. I think he finds it, yes. Wow. Just incredible. But the only problem is the time, you know. As long as he manages the time, you know, that's going to be the key. And now this is going to be very bad, because now either knight f5 or knight e6 will come next. And black is really, you know, very close to just going down.
Those rooks on the 7th rank, that's where they want to be. That's dreamland for white, and it looks like Dennis...
Knight e6 now. Knight e6, very powerful move. Yes, very good. Playing very quickly.
Dennis, very nice.
You know, rook f7 only move. He has to play it quickly. He has to play quickly. I mean, he's getting very low on time. Painfully low on time. And then you can, you know, do a lot of good things. Maybe takes and then queen b5, takes and queen c2. Just, you know, very good choice. You know, the fact that there's a choice, there's no immediate knockout, might be tough for Dennis a little bit. Oh, don't take on d5. Please don't take on d5. Knight takes d5 then. Don't hang the queen. Please don't hang the queen. Knight f4. Very good. That's much better, yes. Now black should play queen f5. Okay, he played c4. Now queen c2. Queen c2, queen g6. Queen d1 is also fine. But now it's going to be a very big time scramble. Okay, now, you know, queen c2, that's why it was better, you know, to stop queen f5. Now queen d4. Centralize the queen, then rook e5, and... Okay, knight e2. Now knight e4. Now Pugachev has a little initiative. Still white is better. Rook f1. Now the time's catching up, and now Pugachev's playing good chess quickly. Rook in the game. Queen f3. Rook f6 now. Rook f6. Yes. Queen g4. Or queen e3. And now it's going to be really a time scramble. Whoever just plays quicker wins. But Dennis has to speed up. They both have to speed up. They have 20 seconds. They gotta just play moves at this point.
Stop thinking, right? Stop thinking, you just gotta move.
Yeah, just gotta move. Yeah, rook e1. Rook e1. Quicker, guys.
Each second is
Queen
like
e8
worth
mate,
a pawn
queen e8
right
mate,
here.
queen e8 mate, and
Oh.
he found it. Oh, that's painful for
Oh my gosh.
Pugachev. It became such a good fight, but he needed to block the file with 96. Oh, and he looks dejected.
Dennis LaRue, look at him confidently sipping his beverage in,
and
that
Pugachev
little
looks
cup.
dejected, and now he's gonna have to win 2 games on demand, just to get to Armageddon. But if anyone can do it, it's him. I think he's a very good fighter, but yeah, he looks dejected.
Man, Dennis LaRue is looking to run roughshod over Michael Pugachev. He wants redemption. This is his series, and he was embarrassed last time, and he's angry now. And when you play Blitz Bounty angry, man, anything is possible. Good stuff from Dennis LaRue.
Yeah, very good game. I mean, sure, it wasn't perfect, but I think overall he's playing clearly much better chess, and considering it's Blitz, I'm actually very impressed with the quality of these games. Considering it's 5-minute, 1500 level, I would say, they're playing much more closer to like 2000 than 1500 level.
Right? That is a shining endorsement coming from you. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to something special. This is Blitz Bounty 2, LaRue versus Pugachev. I'm Ben Simon, joined along with Grandmaster Alexander Lenderman, and we are halfway home in a best-of-4 Game in 5 Blitz series. It's rated, by the way, and Trash Talk is encouraged, but, well, we don't have a way to listen to the Trash Talk. But these players are very respectful upstairs, so I don't think we're missing anything. Right now, LaRue leads 2-0. If Pugachev can hope to win, he has to clinch the next 2 games, a draw won't do it, win the next 2, and then go to an Armageddon, 5 minutes versus 4 minutes, to settle the score. So, by the way, once again, we are broadcasting in a lower than standard def resolution right now, so do not worry. We will upload the full HD broadcast after the conclusion of tonight's show. But thank you for joining us. If you have any questions for myself or Alex, be sure to hit us up in the chat. I do have it open, and right now it's a conversation between 2 people. Very entertaining. So, wonder what they're doing up in the tournament hall. Oh, we're getting ready for Game 3.
Okay, so Pugachev is white, and he's determined. He's focused. He's angry now. I could tell. He wants that win.
Most recently, Hikaru Nakamura came to the board here in St. Louis in sunglasses. Do you feel like this is an advantage or a disadvantage? You can't see with sunglasses.
I don't know. Well, I guess it's just to prevent opponent from seeing what you think.
Can't track the eyes.
So now, which one is? Oh yeah, no, this one we already did. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, there you go, the Dutch. And credit goes to Dennis LaRue. He's playing the Dutch despite the fact that he only needs a draw. Normally, that's an opening you play when you need the win, but it's probably an opening he knows best. And he's playing like a Stonewall kind of Dutch. And I think white got a better of it because he was able to get that bishop from c1 into the game. Normally, in the Stonewall Dutch, you want white to still have the bishop on c1. So I think white definitely got the better version. Now, Pugachev, to his credit, he knows both d4 and e4. He can play both, and that's already showing a lot of versatility at that level. Normally, at this level, we see people just playing one opening all the time, but he actually is quite versatile, and he definitely shows quite a lot of understanding of the structures. So once again, we see both of these players very much proficient in their openings. But g6, I don't like that move. I think he should have played knight e4, trying to exchange the knights and the bishops and just develop. Now he created more weaknesses, which, okay, it's not the end of the world, but now he has to play rook e8 quickly. Rook f7 would be bad, because then the knight e5 or knight g5 would come, trapping. So now Pugachev is playing quickly and confidently. He needs to win. Only a win does it. And now knight e5, so now knight d7 is a good move. Try to get rid of that knight. I think black's fine. I mean, he got his solid setup, but I think white is okay too. And f4, Pugachev is reaching out to play f4. That would be actually a mistake, I think, because then knight takes e5, followed by knight g4, and then that bishop on h6 will be trapped. So I don't think he sees that. I'm wondering if Dennis LaRue will see it. Okay, so he played h4. Wow. Very ambitious. He's going all in.
All in, you say?
All in.
Oh, boy.
Now I think you should take on e5 and go knight g4. Okay, he goes knight e4. This I'm not so sure, because maybe h5 now, continuing. But okay, it's still very much a very complex position. So it's hard to say whether one side is better or not here. But all I can say, it's boiling to become a very, very sharp fight.
That bishop on h6, should black be worried about that long term? Can anything join up with it?
Well, bishop f8 potentially neutralizes it, and for now the bishop on h6 actually blocks the attacks, so I'm not sure if it's such a big deal. Now you have to take with the f-pawn, because d-pawn, de would be a huge blunder, allowing bishop c4 check, and then king h8, knight f7, and game over. So you have to take either the knight on e4, or you can do knight takes e5 intermediate move. But you cannot do d takes e4 here. And he correctly takes with the f-pawn. So LaRue is on top of his tactics today. Dennis is on top of his tactics today. So now white has to move. Well, if he takes bishop takes e4, which would be very interesting, if de queen c4. But the problem is, then there's knight takes e5 intermediate. Bishop takes e4, knight takes e5 would happen intermediate. So white just went back. But now you can just take on e5 and go bishop b4 check and win the pawn on e5. So now black is doing quite well here. And indeed, black is doing quite well. Let's see how he will play this. Okay, so he gives a check first, and now king will have to go to f1, then knight takes e5. So once again, Dennis is in control. King f1, knight takes e5.
Oh, it goes the other way.
He goes king d1. That's even more dangerous, because then the king can potentially be attacked. And then, probably black will pick up the pawn. Yeah. Very good stuff by black. Now he's up a pawn, and white just has to hope for, some kind of an attack, for some kind of counterplay.
You said hope for some kind of attack, some kind of counterplay. There's not much concrete here for white, is there?
Yeah, there's not. I mean, white is just worse here. So he tries to attack the bishop, but now bishop f8 would be fine. Trying to neutralize the bishop on h6. Bishop to any other square would be fine as well. He plays bishop f8 probably. That's what he's looking at. But he's hesitating. All right, he ends up going for bishop d6. I would have preferred bishop f8 to keep an option of d4, opening up the game, but black is still in control, of course. So white tried bishop g5, but still, white is just much worse, down a pawn. Okay, so bishop e7, bishop f4, yep. Now you have to move the rook f5 maybe, for rook e6. Now rook f6. Yeah, so I think black did not play it perfectly, but again, he is staying away from the very big miscues, very big blunders. So black is still very much doing well here. So white does not win the trade because he's down material. Now I think d4 might already be time for d4, opening up the game for the king and potentially threatening d3. And he's gonna go for it. Brave man, Dennis LaRue, just on top of all the ideas. Once again, his form today is very much on top. Bishop c4, bishop e6 has to be played, I think. Although bishop e6, there's bishop g5. Okay, well maybe actually I spoke too soon. Maybe it actually was a bit risky to go d4. Because it does give white some play. So maybe actually it looked very tempting, but maybe it was actually not the absolute best. But I still like black's chances after bishop e6, but he's probably not so sure here. He's spending a lot of time. That's the only thing that's hurting him. Okay, he's staying away from all the immediate tactics. Okay, king e8. Yeah, now the game's getting very sharp. If he takes on e4, then d takes e3 will be discovered check. So now Pugachev is, Michael is thinking, ed, queen takes d4, queen takes d4, I think is a good move. Just take the pawn with check, yep, can't be too bad. Threatening rook takes f2. You know, now king c1, rook takes f2, so king e1 maybe, but then bishop g4. If he's gonna go queen d2, okay, he's gonna go king c1, rook takes f2, rook takes f2 now. Take that pawn on f2, attack the queen. You know, definitely, I don't see a problem with that. He's taking a lot of time though. Come on, Dennis, you gotta play quicker. Is he not seeing that move? Or is he looking for something better? But he needs to move. Dennis, you need to move. Okay, he finally sees it. Come on, Dennis, don't hesitate. Don't overthink. Just play. Now he has 40 seconds, so White's main hope is the time, and the fact that it's still a little bit complicated. Now I think White needs to play queen b3.
You got to stay around that b pawn.
Yeah, queen b3, you have to stay around the b pawn, otherwise it will be mate. Yeah, queen b3 is a good move. Also preparing bishop e3, potential tactics. So now it's down to the wire. Both players have 40 seconds. They gotta play quickly. They gotta play very quickly here. And they're both taking a lot of time. They're very unsure. Bishop f6, I think, is a good move. So much complications. But Dennis, you have to move. Dennis, you gotta move now.
Oh my gosh, less than 20 seconds.
So he's going bishop g4, but now bishop e3. Bishop e3, I think he missed that. Bishop e3 wins material. Attacks the queen and the rook. Pugachev is not seeing it, I think. Michael, he's playing king b1, saving the king, which also makes a lot of sense practically, but come on, you gotta play quickly. Come on, Dennis. Rook d8, king a2 now, then threatening b5. It's gonna go down to the wire, but I predict White will win this on time because he's taking too long. He's playing 2 seconds, 5 seconds each move. Now White just needs to play very quickly. And finally, yeah, he won the queen, and then and now he won on time. So
that's it. 2-1. Dennis slips up for the first time, and so we are going to game 4. Can Michael Pugachev win this 4th game and force an Armageddon, or with only a draw, Dennis LaRue will win in game 4? It's all on the line coming up next, Alex.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it gives some intrigue. Yeah, Dennis, I think he was playing well once again, but he was just taking too much time. He was like hesitating too much, not trusting himself, just maybe a bit nervous because he's about to put the match away and just doubting himself too much, just spending too much time. In general, the rule is you don't want to spend more than half your remaining time on one move, almost ever. And that's exactly what he was doing. When he had 40 seconds, he was spending 20 seconds a move. When he had 10 seconds, he was spending 5-6 seconds a move. You just cannot afford to do that in Blitz or in any time control for that matter.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't heard it put into words like that before.
Yeah, and in general, what I can recommend my students is avoid spending even more than 25% of the time remaining on any move, unless it's like super critical, like maybe once or twice during the game. But in general, you want to make sure you play, kind of based on how much time you have. Of course, you want to spend more if it's a critical position, but at the same time, you gotta trust yourself sometimes and play more intuitively. You can't possibly play a perfect move every time.
I'm not sure exactly how the rest period is timed out. That'd be a question for our arbiter, Nick Risco. But right after the game was over and the seat was vacant, you saw Dennis LaRue get up and go around and sit immediately down. He wants to forget that last game.
Yes.
He doesn't like slip-ups. And Pugachev, not too far behind him, but it looks like LaRue is intently focused. Okay, well now maybe he's going to get some orange juice or something. Before the games today, the demeanors of both of these players were markedly different. Michael was upstairs on the ground floor, or which is downstairs from the tournament hall, and he was sitting on that sofa in our front area, and he was just as chill as a cucumber. And he was happy to answer questions about the match and about his life and his chess, whereas Dennis was in the basement pacing back and forth, brooding, very intense, thinking about this game. And you're wondering, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I'd say so far, it's a good thing. Very mentally prepped is Dennis LaRue in this strong for a 1500 matchup. And game 4 is underway.
And they're having another Gioco Piano, and they're both trying to play quickly. And like I said, I think Dennis is playing very good. I think Pugachev's chances lie more, in the scrambles and the time factor and everything else. But so far, Dennis is very sharp. He needs to just trust himself a little bit more. And once again, they're playing a very slow Gioco Piano. But now Black is going for the Bishop G4 plan, which I like a little bit less, because then you can just play H3. And if Bishop H5, now you can go Rook E1, Knight F1, Knight G3. And I think actually, Michael is overthinking it this time. He should have played the plan with Bishop E6, maybe prepared with Rook E8 to avoid the double pawns. But this is just good for white. Knight F1, Knight G3 is just good for white. The bishop becomes kind of off the mark, and then white will just play for Knight H4, Knight F5 once the bishop moves. And here white is already doing quite well. So Black is trying to go King H8, F5, but I don't think he'll have that much time. Knight G3 needs to be played quickly, although there is a move G4 and then Knight G3, but okay, this makes sense as well. Okay, so he takes, but now Queen takes is already very comfortable for white. Very comfortable. Queen F6. Okay, so he's trying to get queens off. Which, okay, tries to get rid of some attack. Now I would probably keep the queen. Okay, Knight F5 is a good move. Playing for an attack. Queen G3 might be an idea. And then maybe Rook F1 and King H1 and then F4, opening up the F file. Knight E7 is about to be played, probably. And that looks like a good move, trying to neutralize that knight.
Remember, everyone, Michael must win this to force an Armageddon. Dennis just needs a draw, and he wins the match.
Yeah, but of course in Blitz it's very hard to think about it like this, play for a win or a draw,
Right.
especially not at this level.
I'm speaking mathematics here.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very different. Hey, it's a game in 5. It's not even an increment or delay here.
But Dennis, I can sense he's a little bit intense, and Michael is a bit more relaxed. He's just taking it move by move, game by game.
Rarely Pokemon says, yeah, Michael is chill.
Oh, G4, very interesting. Knight 6 F5, G F5. So that's why he was spending some time. He wanted to see how good this move is. It's a critical decision. So, yeah, but it's very ambitious.
Taco Bell at 6 in the chat says, Dennis, reveal your true power. The world is ready. Oh, wow.
Now Queen G3, H4 is a good plan. Queen G3, H4, G5. Queen G3, H4, G5. White played Bishop E3. This move I like a bit less. But still, I think I like white here. Now F takes E3, I think I would play. Opening up that F file. And then, yeah, and that's, good move. Queen G3 now. Queen G3. Yeah, simple. And now Rook F1, H4. At Knight G5, I don't like that move because, you're just stepping into a tempo in the long run anyway. So that's kind of helping white because white wanted to go Queen G3, H4 anyway. And he's kind of helping Black choose his plan in some ways. Knight E7 probably will be played. And now Rook F1 should be played or H4. Yeah, Rook F1. Now he's playing quickly. That's good. Knight takes F5. Rook takes F5. Although it's certainly interesting to take with the pawn as well, but I would probably take with the rook, keep the F file going. Rook F1 is, I think, a good move. We take with the G pawn. Interesting. Okay, so he wants to play on the G file. This I like a bit less because there's only one weakness, G7 pawn, and I think that's easy to guard with, knight and H7, rook and G8. This I like a bit less, but at the same time, still I like white's position.
King H8.
And he played it, right? So, the idea is he wants to go Rook G8 and cover up G7. And I think this is going to be pretty solid. It's going to be very hard for white to break through. Oh, but g6, I'm not sure about that move, really, because then you could take on g6 and you have the f-file. Also, you can play h4 here, so I think this is a bit risky. But maybe not terrible. Okay, so you played h4. Now you have to bring the knight back. And now fg, I think, should be played. Queen takes is forced. And now, I wonder if you should keep queens. Probably you should play queen h3. If I was Dennis, I would probably play queen h3 here. He's thinking a bit too much here. You know, now he's behind on the clock. Yeah, but the endgame I think is not bad for black now. I don't really like this so much for. Now black can.
You don't like this for white?
For white, I mean, sorry. Yeah, now because now in this position, black is very solid. Black is up on time, and white has no initiative. And if he's gonna play slower, black will just run white out of time in the endgame. The longer the endgame goes, so. I definitely don't like this. And here, this endgame I think is just bad for white because black has an outside pass pawn. He can create a pass pawn with the g file, with the g5.
Pugachev says, yeah, let's trade.
Yeah, definitely. Although knight g4 was unnecessary, then just king f3. But he has to play it quicker. He should have just played g5, Pugachev. Okay, so he's going back now, lost a couple of time. Now if I was white, I would go a5 and then bishop e6. Fix that pawn on b7 as a weakness, and then try to attack his target. Okay, he goes right away. Now black can play a5, which would make sure that secures the pawns. And he found it, yeah, so that was a good move. Bishop c8, b6, b4. That's why white should have played b4, a5. That would have been very important. Now I think black will win this game, because the endgame is equalish, but I think he'll just win on time. Because he's better and he can press on for a very long time. You see, white has like an extra pawn on the queen side, but you can't use it because one of his pawns is double in the center. But black should play g5. Oh, this was a terrible move, ed, because now he just created white a potential passer. You know, very bad move. You know, ed. He should have played g5 at some point. Definitely do not undouble these pawns here. Very serious positional mistake.
Wait, you're saying that black created a potential passer for white?
For white, yeah. The pawn on the e file will now, white can now try to play e5 and make a pass pawn. So that was a very big. Now white should play bishop d5. Good move. You know, preparing bishop c6 and then, you know, at some point pushing the pawn. But the only problem is the time still. Okay, bishop c6 is a good move. Now don't go knight b8. Yeah, knight f6, e5. e5. Quickly, Dennis. Quickly. Yeah, you see now white gets a lot of counterplays, so that's DED. Yep, and then bishop d5 next move. But the time station is very bad for black. For white. For white, sorry. Bishop d5 you need to play to stop king e6. He finds it, yes, very good. He's playing good moves, but he's playing slowly, and that will hurt him in an endgame like this because. As long as you don't lose right away, you're just going to get flagged here. Knight f5, good move based on the idea, h5, knight g3. And now black just won a pawn. So white eventually blundered because of the time situation.
Yes. And right there, just like 7 seconds ticked off right there.
Yeah, and now I would say white is just lost. You know, both position-wise and time-wise. Pugachev just played much quicker the endgame and the early middle. King e6 is a winning move now. But he's overthinking. Okay, knight e3 is not so okay. He wants to go knight d1, I guess. That's what his idea is, which is also interesting. Giving up the pawn for this pawn, which probably also is winning. Okay, now knight takes a4 is winning. Knight takes a4. Michael, knight takes a4. Yes, very good. Bishop h7, knight takes c3. Yeah, now white is just losing. Oh, he touched the pawn. Now king e6 now. But he's not gonna, get the pawns in time. He lost on time. So.
My friends, we are going to an Armageddon with an even score as Michael Pugachev clocks out Dennis LaRue in Game 4 to score an even 2-all. And so we're going to have a 5-minute versus 4-minute Armageddon to decide the match winner. I didn't expect this 2 games ago, Alex.
No, I thought there was a chance. I mean, you know, you never know. I mean, in such matches, there's always a chance. Even if there are grandmasters playing, it would be possible to come back from 2-0 in the 2 Blitz games, right? So, you know, Blitz is very streaky. So once, you know, Michael won that previous game where Dennis just overthought, then I thought there's actually a very good chance he'll win this game.
Okay.
Especially if it's going to go based on this flow.
We're going to await the drawing of lots for white or black. Now, here's how it works. White is going to have 5 minutes. Okay, there's no delay, no increment in this game. White has 5 minutes. Black has 4 minutes. The trade-off here is black has draw odds. If the game is a draw, then black gets the nod and is the match winner. So that is, it's time odd versus draw odd. I would tell you, as far as predictions go, look, it's Blitz, right? But you got a 50% chance of getting it right. But as far as predictions go, I'm going to go with Pugachev right now because Pugachev has the momentum, and I think Dennis is frazzled. What would you say?
Oh, I think it also depends on what color each player gets. Because I think, I'm pretty sure if Pugachev gets white and gets 5 minutes, then I'm pretty sure he's winning the game because, you know, 1 minute advantage, and as we see, hardly ever at this level we have draws anyway, and there's flagging, right? But if somehow Dennis gets black, I mean, he's solid, he has an extra minute, then maybe he has a little bit of a chance to make a comeback. So I think white will be a very big advantage in this Armageddon. It depends on who draws the white color.
I don't think there was any negotiating, but perhaps if everyone got together, they would give black 4.5 minutes in this venue with these particular players because, yeah, I totally agree with you, Alex, on the draw scenario.
But I do agree that I kind of like Pugachev's momentum a little bit more, but certainly both players have fair shot, I think. So wouldn't be surprised by either one.
The YouTube chat is lighting up right here. Ryan Deering, who works here at the club, says, "Let's go, Michael. Dennis must be punished for his positional sins." Do you agree?
Positional sins? Well, I think both are playing positional sins, but, you know, at the same time, you know, Dennis, you know, I think the main problem for Dennis, I mean, he's playing overall pretty decently, but sometimes just playing a little bit slower and overthinking, especially that third game where he had the game under control, pretty much about to be taken, but then just started, once he was down below a minute, he was like really overthinking things and overanalyzing and lost on time.
Oh, and now we see Michael has the time advantage and Dennis has draw odds. I think this is devastating news for Dennis LaRue.
I think it's not good for Dennis. I think
who also has a 1200 blitz rating.
I think Michael is a huge favorite now.
Oh, he's gonna crush. Look at those fists right there. He's gonna crush Dennis. That's what he's showing. Yeah, Dennis isn't phased. He's looking out at the board, very concentrated.
No, I definitely now expect Michael to. Oh, now they're talking. They've exchanged a few words, I think. But
oh man, hopefully, yeah. There you see. If you look closely at that clock, 5 minutes versus 4 minutes, right there. Okay, the tension was too much, guys. Let's stretch it off. Okay, 7th inning stretch. It's actually the top of the 9th. We're staying a little bit later.
No, what do we mean 9th? It's like 12th or something already, right?
Oh, we're hockey season. Yeah, it's overtime.
Overtime, yes.
Okay. So Nick Risco is making sure that everything is a go, and on our end, we're ready to go. He's explaining the rules. Now, I understand that first of all, this is not a rated game. Armageddon is not a rated variant, but in this time control, in this blitz, an illegal move may no longer end the game anymore. It's simply a time penalty. So with this craziness, we might see it. But here we go, Game 5, the final playoff, Armageddon.
Yeah, and this time, again, you know, Dennis is going for a very solid setup. Not the Dutch, but the Queen's Gambit declined. And he's playing it very quickly and confident this time, which is exactly what Dennis needs to do. And also, I like his strategy, opening up the center, simplifying the game, and getting closer to the draw. I wouldn't have played b6, though. I would have just taken twice on c4 and d4. So they're both, once again, knowing their theory. But, White needs to just keep the time advantage and play solid blunder-free chess, and then I think Michael should be able to win eventually on the clock. Now I think he should take on d5, create an isolated pawn. Yeah, I think that's a good move. Not an isolated pawn, but potentially hanging pawns. And let's say now I would take on c5 also, because if b takes c5, the pawn on d5 is hanging. Yeah, and then he does that. So now Pugachev has warmed up, and he's playing some good chess. Now he just hung a pawn. Now knight takes d5 just is a pawn blunder. Knight takes d5 just wins the pawn. I mean, is he just making sure, or is it he not? He sees it. Knight takes d5 wins the pawn, and he's still 1 minute on the clock. And I would say, yeah, unless Michael makes some huge blunders, I would say the match is almost over, because up a pawn, huge time advantage. Now Dennis is really low on confidence, and now he just needs to basically finish him off.
Well, it's got to feel like
and now this is the blunder again. Knight takes e7 and bishop d6. And it looks like tactics are definitely up his alley. Michael definitely sees tactics very quickly. Yeah, now it's going more and more downhill for Dennis. And now the blunder started creeping in. He's also probably getting a bit tired. And now his king is falling. I mean, at this point, it's just...
Look, and see how he just slammed the pieces there
Yeah.
At the top of the screen? He is very unsettled there. It's trapped under ice with his time.
Rook c1 is a mistake, though, because now black could take on a2. So that was a little bit careless. But he doesn't even see it. Yeah, so at this point, Dennis is just missing everything. While for Michael, this overtime is helpful because he's a young player. He's energized. He's warmed up. For Dennis, it's already, he's playing, I think, on his last legs, unfortunately. And yeah, I expect White to be able to convert this at this point. I think where Dennis lost the match really was game 3, especially game 3 was the pivotal one, because that was where Pugachev was unsettled and not confident, and that was where he had him completely on the ropes, but he did not take advantage. He played too slowly, too cautiously, and then he gave Michael new life. The momentum was suddenly on Michael's shoes, and then the fact that he also had to play black this game was also definitely not in his favor. So yeah, it's just not going well for black. I mean, you can try to take the pawn on a2. You should at least try to take the pawn, but yeah, which he does. But white can take on a6, white can play rook a1. It's just not looking very good for black.
And you just get it back.
You get it back, you're up a pawn, you're up an exchange, and you're up 1 minute on the clock. Black has only 2 minutes left, white has 3 minutes left, so unless white just completely chokes, it's looking over. Queen g6 now offering a queen trade, and he plays it quickly and confidently. And black correctly avoids the queen trade, but now, okay, technically, well, maybe he did say adjust, but now bishop c4, I would try to exchange some more pieces.
Right, because then you have to take the rook,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
By touching. Dennis is like, hey, buddy, I'm going to enforce that.
Yeah, theoretically speaking, yeah. Now maybe black should go knight takes e3, hoping for some complications, but then bishop takes e6 is winning anyways, so. Yeah, I mean, Michael's playing good chess. Bishop c4, good move. Rook d8, but now you can just take the knight. That blunders the knight. Now, well, actually it doesn't blunder. If bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, because there's queen a6. So it doesn't blunder anything. Okay, well, he played knight b8. Yeah, now, I mean, almost anything wins. Queen c7 is probably good, because then you're, yeah, he finds it, yeah. Queen c7, a very good move, yeah. Because if bishop takes d5, rook takes f6. If rook takes d5, queen takes b8. So now black's gonna lose more material. Now he lost the queen, so yeah, that last game he blundered just everything, unfortunately, yeah. And now the house fell, and yeah, I think now he will probably resign this game.
That hand signal is the I'm about to resign hand signal.
Well, actually he is playing out, but maybe hoping for a stalemate. Okay, now he resigned.
Wow, and Michael Pugachev takes a breath of fresh air.
And,
A little Sam Shanklin cheer there.
Yeah, fist pump, and That was clutch.
Oh man, and Dennis LaRue, I think we're about to see the exchange of the bounty right here. We did it in studio last time. Come on, Nick, move out of the way if that's what they're gonna do. But remember, Dennis has promised Pugachev 2 Powerball tickets. I'm sure his parents will enjoy that. Worth potentially millions of dollars, as Mike Kummer would like to say, and also $36 cash, which is the prize for the Friday action quads here at the St. Louis Chess Club. So
I'm sure if it actually will be worth $1 million, I'm sure Pugachev will happily share that with the club and Dennis.
the trick is you don't tell anybody. You go off the grid for a little bit, Alex.
Personally, if I was getting a gift like that and I would earn this much money, I would definitely share it. If that would happen, so.
Well, what we're going to do here in just a moment is we're going to have the players in here for post-match interviews to have the sights and the sounds, the cheers, the jeers, and the tears right here in the studio. Alex, what is your assessment of the match that we saw here today?
Oh, it was a great fighting match. I really enjoyed covering it. It was very interesting play, both very good fighting players, and I would say, yeah, I mean, they played very decent chess. Considering it was Blitz, considering their level, they were very well prepared. They came here to play, they came here to fight. Sure, there were mistakes, but I think, yeah, it was much better than I expected, actually, the quality, so.
I think what we'll do here, since you've got all the games up, you want to analyze a little bit with the players?
We could do that, sure.
Yeah, we'll get to that once we have the players down here, and I will get them in here. But it's been a really fun Blitz Bounty 2, and it's 0-2, unfortunately, for Dennis LaRue, who is just having his bank broken. I hear some shouting outside the studio, and it might be Dennis, I don't know. Might be angry. Well, thank you for joining us on the show thus far. Interviews still to come here on our broadcast. And remember, this show is streaming live. It started at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, but for historical value, we'll be uploading it in HD later this evening or tomorrow, so you can watch it in glorious HD and see all of my acne on my face. Is just really great. You can't miss it. So I'm wondering, who is next for Dennis LaRue?
Well, I mean, I'm not too familiar with like the young and up-and-coming players here in St. Louis, but I'm sure like there are many matches that I think will be good. I mean, maybe he'll try to revenge against Pugachev, but maybe another up-and-coming young player. So I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see. I mean, I'm just not familiar with the local players that much.
Well, we've got great contenders like Julian Proleko. If Dennis is a glutton for punishment, you can go even stronger.
No, but Julian is a master, right? 2300 or something.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be fun?
Well, then it should be time odds or something like that, right?
Hey, Dennis is a trooper, man, I'll tell you. So I think we have interviews just about ready outside. So if we are, let's just take a look at the boardroom if we can, Danny. Just let me know where we are. There we go. Hey, that over-the-shoulder shot.
Maybe
I really
you
like
can
that.
play against Dennis. No,
You think I should challenge him?
maybe.
Yeah, maybe I will. All right, fans, we'll be back in just a moment with our first of 2 interviews. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome, Dennis. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being a good sport. So, yeah, so I thought, you were playing very well in the beginning. You came out of the gate very strong. You were, as you were planning, you were playing good chess. You were not blundering. You were playing quickly, and you were outplaying your opponents and seeing a lot of the tactics. So where did you think it started going wrong for you?
Once I started winning, I got a little overconfident, Alex, and I didn't manage my time as carefully in the third game. And I think I still had a playable position in that Stonewall that I played, but I just flagged. I'm old and slow.
Yeah, that's that's where I thought actually the game took the turn for the worst, because you see in this game, yeah, you were actually playing very. No, sorry, that's the wrong game. This game, yeah. So in this game, you were actually playing very good chess. You're outplaying your opponent. He went for some slightly dubious attacks.
This is correct to take with the e-pawn, huh? Yeah,
very much so, yeah. You can also take with a c-pawn, but
I don't want my b5.
Probably he should not take on d5. He should probably go here, but he did this. There's no point of analyzing a blitz game too much. Bishop h6 probably unnecessary, but it was a hope for a little trick. If this 95,
right?
So rook e8, 95, knight d7, h4. Yeah, and here I saw that you can do this, and then knight g4, and then threatening this. But the way you played was good too. I mean, it's hard to see everything in blitz. And by the way, quick question for you: what would you do if there was bishop takes e4? What happened? What would you do then?
That's a good question. What am I? Yeah, there's some sort of trick here.
Yeah, because of DE, there's queen c4, just to show defense.
Yes.
King h8, knight f7. So in that case, it would be very important to do this move first, and then after this, you're out of all the tactical danger.
I was not aware of this tactic, so I would have had to hope that I would find it. Yeah. I wasn't seeing it right now.
But otherwise, yeah, knight e4 was probably a mistake, because actually you were able to win the pawn, and he put the king also in a very dubious square. And yeah, I think here you were still playing very good chess, but just maybe, trying to be a bit too perfect, taking a little bit too much time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the game slipped away for you.
Yeah, that sounds right.
What? Yeah, d4 I thought was interesting, but it was a bit complicated. Maybe it was better to just bring the rook back, first get all your development in, and only then go for d4.
This makes a lot of sense.
Just to make your life simpler, in blitz. d4, he actually played check. Yeah, now you have to calculate a lot. I thought bishop e6 you didn't play because of this one, right? Probably.
Yes.
But then I think d takes e3 is coming, and then queen d2, and...
Oh, I still had... Okay.
Yeah. But, even after this, you're doing very well, but I think this is where you started spending... Really, it took a lot of time on this move, and this is where, unfortunately, it was like, one of the things I tell my students is you almost always want to avoid spending more than half your remaining time. So if you have 1 minute left, you don't want to spend 30 seconds on a move unless you absolutely have to. And this was probably where the game slipped away from you, and then it was kind of hard to come back.
Sure was.
And then already last game, not Armageddon game, but the last game.
Last round, yeah.
That was, no,
Queen's Gambit declined.
Where was
that? No, it was another,
no, not this game. 1 second, let me find it. No, not this game, maybe. Yeah, this one, yes. So this game, I thought you actually outplayed your opponent, and he decided to improve with bishop, quote-unquote, improve with bishop g4, bishop h5, but in fact, this is just very comfortable for you. But, some questions for you here. G4 was very interesting, by the way, very interesting for the blitz.
Not normal, but this is probably not a great move, right, g4? Yeah.
G4 is very interesting. I wouldn't have played it, but it was probably good practical-wise for blitz.
It just seemed like it posed a few problems, right?
Yeah, and here I would not have gone bishop e3. I was thinking all along, go here, h4, g5. And just, he has hook on h6 and just go for a direct attack. So you went here, takes, knight g5. Yeah, knight g5 wasn't very good because it helped your, h4 plan.
Right.
And here I thought you should definitely take with the rook, because then you're going rook f1, h4, g5, and this is very weak. This is like a much easier pawn to target, I think, than...
I took with the pawn, right?
Yeah, that was a little bit too creative, because now the queen on f6 actually blockades everything very nicely, and it's hard to get anything in. And suddenly here he was playing very quickly, he was getting up on time. I don't think g6 was a good move. I thought he should just go rook g8, knight h7, and keep solid.
I couldn't figure out how to recapture on f5. Right? Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. Okay. This
But
makes sense. There
this
was
is
like
actually
over
still
pass.
very good, but I think where you really made your mistake, especially given the time situation, was taking on g6. Because you basically went from a very promising attack where you could have hoped for mating him and really just played for initiative, to going into the endgame where you're down 30 seconds and then you have a good chance of being flagged
which
in
is
an
what
endgame like that.
happens,
Right, so that was probably...
I think my decision-making process was backwards, right? I
And
thought
here,
I was,
there was also a very interesting moment I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
You should have played a5, fixing this pawn, and then only done this. Because then this would come with a lot more venom. And this would be, I think, very unpleasant for your opponent to deal with. Like
makes a lot of sense.
the only way he can defend is looks like knight g8, knight e7. But this would be a very hard maneuver, obviously, for him to find, especially in blitz. And I think you have a very good chance of winning the game then.
A5 first, yeah, I gotta fix the pawns.
A5, you probably gotta go something like this, and then you can actually win the game here by attacking the pawns.
This makes sense.
But, you know, bishop e6 was a bit too straightforward, and
Easily defined.
easily defended. He played a5, and now it was just very solid for him. And, you know, here he still made a very bad decision of giving you, undoubling your pawns and giving you counterplay. He should just play g6, g5, and then just basically he could flag you here because you don't have any active play, and he can just maneuver all day long. And even objectively, it's bad. But even after this, it was at this point you were low on time, and it was just very hard to play from this point on. And he kept his composure, and then I think, yeah, it was very bad luck for you, or maybe not bad luck. I mean, who was the one choosing the clock? I mean, the
time
color in there.
control?
No,
Oh,
the color. The coin toss went to which side?
it was, we let a TD do it, so it went, it went to, you know, it favored Michael got white because of that.
Yeah, and that was a little bit bad luck for you, I thought, because I thought for you to have the best chance in this time control, you
To be
needed,
on the other side of the army.
yeah, because you know you needed the white, you needed initiative, 1 extra minute, and
I need that
control
minute.
that. Yeah, and unfortunately, it seemed like he was just as he was getting the momentum, he was becoming sharper and sharper. It seems like that last game you were just getting a bit tired,
I was
and pieces start For the first 4 games, you were playing very good when it came to, not blundering, but unfortunately, last game, all the pieces just, were falling. And
Like a house of cards and a game of dominoes.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it was a bad break for you, and
I had fun, and it was a great privilege to have you doing commentary.
sounds good. But I mean, so now, unfortunately, you're 0-2, so where do you go from here, from this point on?
Down. Yeah, I know this is, I heard Ben rehearsing this question with you. You go to a place where you can just cry quietly in the dark, Alex. That's where I'm going.
Well, I hope you'll be back tomorrow in good mood again. I'm sure that you've played pretty good chess today. Actually, I was actually very impressed. You're seeing a lot of good tactics. You knew the openings very well. You were very well prepared, and I'm sure things will go even better for you next time. I think sure next time you'll probably at some point win one of these matches, and
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
And,
I may never do it again. We'll see. If the public demands it, we'll do another one. But this was a concession for the Scholastics crowd. Michael and Jacob really wanted to
Michael
do these,
fought very hard in
he
the
did.
end, and as the match kept going, he was only getting seems sharper.
He was a different Michael in round 3. I thought I had broke him, but he came back and hurt me. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in
Thank you
again.
for
and,
having me. Yeah.
Sure thing. Okay, so we're here with the winner of the event, Michael Pugachev. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On a great comeback. We'll have to call you comeback kid from this point on. So, what was so after you had a very difficult start.
Yeah,
first two games could have gone either way, but they didn't go your way. So, what was your mentality after the first two games, like to start your comeback trail?
Yeah. I just tried to stay calm and just focus on one game at a time.
Sounds like an excellent advice. So, in the first game, it looks like you were playing quite well. Actually, we don't have the whole game, but then it looks like this one move F5 that really hurt you, where it looks like maybe you miscounted. Otherwise, you were doing very well.
Yeah.
Second game. Let me see. Where is that second game? Yeah, this was the second game. Yeah, second game. What do you think were the main critical moments in this game? Well, besides the very end, which was a bit unlucky, but
I think the critical moments were just I had to stay, like, my time was running low, and I wasn't really focusing on that, so that's why I think I lost the first two games. But then I tried to speed it up in the beginning to have time to think throughout the game.
Yeah, and that was a very good choice. Now, I noticed that, in the last game you decided to switch into Bishop G4 plan.
Yeah.
Was there a reason? Did you think that you did not get a good opening in this position, in this game?
No, I felt like I did. My bishop wasn't really active, so in that game. So I just wanted to make sure I did the opposite of that.
Yeah, no, because I think Bishop E6 is actually more of the main plan in this kind of position. Maybe it's better to play Rook E8 and then try to go Bishop E6 and sometimes take back with the Rook, as long as there's no fork, so usually you bring the Bishop out of the way first.
Yeah.
Because, in the last game, I think your Bishop was actually in, a bit of trouble. You ended up having to trade it off.
It was,
And this was kind of unopposed.
So.
But, I think the opening
was
was fine in this game for you. Actually, I think you played quite well. I think it's just the Bishop A7, when you had to take back with the Rook, this is where you kind of, he got the initiative, and then you fought back very well, and then, when there's 15 seconds each, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But when did you think was the critical moment when you thought, okay, now I can win this match? Now it's like momentum is on my side.
After the third game, when I won with Dennis on time pressure, I'm like, if I do this same strategy, then maybe that'll work again. Yeah,
and that's also what I thought, because that's where I think he was a little bit unsure of himself. He was taking a little bit too much time in the last part of the game.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought, now you'll have the momentum, now you're playing more confidently, and then things can go very well. And what do you think was your favorite game today?
My favorite game was, I think, the third game, because it was a turning point.
Third game, yes. Yeah. So third game was actually a very interesting one. Let's bring that third game. So where do you think, the last position, you won on time, but it's probably lost for you. But where do you think were some critical moments in that game? Like, which moves were you most happy with in this game?
Well, I was always planning to play Rook D1, but I think after I got my King to A2, and Dennis thought that if he just took the Rook on D1, he'd be up a Rook, but then I just take back. And
I remember that moment where you win that Queen. But at that point, he was ready with 2 seconds. But I think here it was kind of a tough position for you. So I think, as far as I know, it's better not to take on D5. It's better to go here.
Yeah.
And you went for a very ambitious strategy here with going for attack. It's very good for Blitz.
It was desperate,
Yeah. Maybe he didn't react the best way, but
I was hoping,
nevertheless, it all worked out, and you ended up winning. Probably here you should just go H5 straight away without Knight takes E4, but in any event, things worked very well. And what do you think the main critical moments in this game were? Game 4.
Game 4 was.
Dennis is gonna. He has the prize.
Why are we doing this now? Okay. All right. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you.
$36 and Powerball ticket. Did good. Good games.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So, I think here I was a bit surprised here that, I thought Knight G5 was maybe unnecessary because it forces Queen G3 H4 anyway.
Yeah.
But I thought he should take with the Rook. I was very surprised when he
too,
didn't. Yeah, that would have been pressure. But I think once you got to that end game,
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know why he traded rooks at the end.
Yeah, well, he also should probably keep queens on the board because your king is a bit weak. But once you got to endgame, I thought, yeah, he's gonna struggle here because he was down on time, and your position is easy
and
to
I feel
play.
like my knight is a bit better than his bishop.
Yeah. And here I think there is one thing he should have tried to do. He should try to play a5 with the idea of going bishop e6 and trying to attack these.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then you have to play knight g8, knight e7. But that's a hard maneuver to find in Blitz, certainly. But once he did this, now I think you're very much in control.
Yeah.
And here I was a bit surprised by one decision. Why did you decide to take this and straighten out his pawns and give him some
Yeah,
count?
I don't know. I didn't really realize that it was just fixing his pawns and giving him a better position. But I think we were just playing because of the time.
Yeah. I think g5, then it's very simple. Okay, it's maybe not winning, but like on time you're gonna win easily because you could just move. Yeah, and then in the last game, I think it was a very good for you that you got the white pieces because there were no draws in this match. So I thought draw is very unlikely anyway. And having 5 minutes against 4 when Dennis was struggling with time was a huge advantage. And the last game you just played very well. You took everything that was given to you, played excellent positional game, and then all his pieces started falling. And it seemed like you were just when he was getting tired, you were just heating up.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
were getting the momentum, and at that point I knew that you would be a big favorite. And so congratulations.
Thank you.
So how does this feel?
It feels good because I came back from a 2-0 deficit. So it just shows. Yeah.
It shows that you're great a
Yeah,
fighter
it
with
was
great
fun.
character, and let's hope many more big wins for you in your future career. You're still a very young player. Hopefully, more great things from you in the future. Hopefully, we'll see you at some point again in the studio. Hopefully, already in a big tournament, like a Norm tournament or something like that.
Thank you.
All right. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
Thank you so much.
So that was.
Dennis, being a great sportsman, had no qualms about presenting the Powerball and the $36. And we saw Michael Pugachev collect the bounty. So we want to thank everybody for joining us here for Blitz Bounty number 2 in the Dennis LaRue era. But I'd like to tell you about some upcoming events here at the St. Louis Chess Club. There's always something new. And coming up next, we have the on USChessChamps.com, we have the Summer Chess Classic. And the first Summer Chess Classic last year was just an amazing event. This year it's going to be a little bit different because traditionally these classic events are 10-player single round robins. Now we're going to have 3 6-player double round robin events, and for the first time I'd like to relay to you the competitors in Group A, the strongest group at the Summer Chess Classic, which begins on June 18th. From the bottom up, Grandmasters Jeffrey Zhang, Daro Svirts, Liam Lee, Gawain Jones, former U.S. champion Sam Shankland, and from Poland, Jan Krzysztof Duda. This is the strongest classic event ever, one of the seasonal classics here at the St. Louis Chess Club. I'm really looking forward to that. It begins on June 18th. That's round number 1 of 10. June 18th, your host for that event will be Grandmaster Jesse Cry and young Caleb Denby. That's going to be an amazing event, Alex. Looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah, very much so. I'll definitely be happy to look over the games. Definitely going to be a lot of instructive value there. And potentially some of these guys are my future competitors at hopefully U.S. Championship.
Right. And of course, for the entire fields, check out uschesschamps.com. But guess what? That's not all. It's overlapping with another event, and it's a big one. It's Croatia Grand Chess Tour, the second leg of the 2019 Grand Chess Tour. All 12 competitors in this year's event, this year's tour, will be in Croatia for the first event there in the GCT. They'll be playing classical 11 rounds, and that begins also in June. Slight overlap with the Summer Chess Classic. For more information on that and the Grand Chess Tour standings, because we've already been to Cote d'Ivoire, check out grandchesstour.com. And we hope to be presenting an alternate language broadcast to you as well. More information on that upcoming, I should say. And then a little bit later on in July, another first here at the St. Louis Chess Club. We have the U.S. Juniors, the U.S. Girls, and now the 2019 U.S. Senior Championship. The Senior Closed event, it's a first time ever. Who will be the first U.S. Senior Closed champion? That all begins on July 10th with 3 different events in one broadcast. This is the first time ever at the St. Louis Chess Club we will be presenting 3 simultaneous events. Talk about overload, Alex. My
Yeah,
goodness.
that's great stuff. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the senior tournament. I'm just, very curious. It's going to be like U.S. Championships 15 years ago or something like that.
Indeed, and that event will be actually the highest rated of the 3, so we'll probably end up giving that top billing. So there's so much yet to come here in the summer of chess, and heck, called a year of chess here at the St. Louis Chess Club. We're going to wrap things up here for Blitz Bounty 2. Thank you for joining us. This event was produced by the world's greatest production B team. We have Danny Machuca, the technical director. Isaac Schrantz is graphics and audio. And I want to thank you all for joining us. Of course, the great sportsmen themselves, Dennis LaRue, our runner-up, and our Blitz Bounty 2 champion, Michael Pugachev. He gets the $36. He gets the 2 Powerball tickets, potentially worth millions, according to Mike Kummer. For Grandmaster Alexander Lenderman, my name is Ben Simon. Until next time, we say so long from the Show Me State.